You're probably not going to believe this, but I love older cars. And if it's an older Grandma Sunday Cruiser car, well, we have something. I've always loved the FoMoCo Panther Cars, and with a production run from 1978 to 2011, for 33 consecutive years, 3 large body-on-frame cars set the standard of what traditional American highway cruisers was to be. Comprised of the Ford Crown Victoria, Mercury Grand Marquis, and the Lincoln Town Car, the Panther cars became one of the longest produced platforms in the North American automotive history. The Mercury Grand Marquis sat right in the middle of the production line and represented a slightly more upscale version of the Crown Victoria, but not quite to the content level as a Lincoln Town Car. As a result, most Grand Marquis cars sat right at the $30,000 mark. The Grand Marquis was manufactured through several generations from 1975 to 2011. From 1975 to 1982, it was the premium trim level of the Marquis line, and in 1983, became a standalone model. From 1986 to 2011, production was moved from the St. Louis Assembly Plant in Hazelwood, Missouri, to the St. Thomas Assembly Plant in Southwold, Ontario, Canada. The third generation Grand Marquis saw an extensive update for the 1998 model year, although it bore strong resemblance from the 1992 to 1997 Aero style, though only the roof and doors were identical. New front and rear fascias were added, as were also redesigned in the new clear lens headlamps and triangular tail lamps. The interiors were basic carryover in design from the 1995 update, with the new 2-spoke steering wheel replacing the old 4-spoke brick design wheel, adding multifunction controls. The last Grand Marquis, a silver birch metallic fleet order car, rolled off the line on January 4, 2011 at 8 a.m. as the final Mercury vehicle produced. Our Grand Marquis, a 4th generation, was produced at St. Thomas Assembly Plant in Ontario on April 7, 2010. Hey everyone, in today's newest installation of the in-depth walk-around review series, on this very hot day we are taking a look at this very nice and very well equipped 2010 Mercury Grand Marquis. And today's Mercury Grand Marquis is the fully loaded LS. It does have the Ultimate Edition trim level on it. Not really sure what that entails because the window sticker doesn't really go into a lot of detail. Today's Grand Marquis is painted in silver birch metallic, and it features the medium light stone leather interior. Full when new pricing is shown on screen, and a full options list is in the description box below. Now that options list is small. The only option on this car are the heated seats at $295. Today's review is going to be a full in-depth review. We're going to cover everything from the exterior to the interior, performance, powertrain, fuel economy, and everything else in between. All the Panther cars from the onset were front engine, rear-wheel drive, and our 2010 Grand Marquis is no exception. Power comes not from the famed Windsor 5-liter V8 engine that was used to power these cars, but rather the newer modular 4.6-liter overhead cam 16-valve V8 engine. This 281 cubic inch cast iron block aluminum head engine features coil-on plug ignition, electronic sequential fuel injection, and a 9.4 to 1 compression ratio. This engine creates 221 horsepower at 4,750 RPM and 265 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 9.5 seconds. 0 to 100 miles per hour comes in at 26.8 seconds, with the quarter mile hitting in at 17 seconds at 85 miles per hour. Top speed on these cars is limited to around 110 miles per hour, which is electronically limited. Severe duty and police fleet cars do not have the limiter. This car happened to be a flex fuel vehicle and can run on either unleaded gasoline or ethanol. It has a 19 US gallon fuel capacity, and while ethanol is traditionally cheaper per gallon, it is not as energy dense and as a result not as economical as gasoline. You can see these figures on screen for a complete fuel economy detail for both regular and ethanol ratings. The sole available transmission is the electronically controlled 4-speed 4R75E automatic with overdrive lockout. This car is equipped with a C8 273-to-1 open ratio rear axle. As we walk along the rear, as in all my videos, we're going to cover the rear in depth. But as you can see, a very nice, elegant look back here. almost a Mercedes-Benz in its styling with the triangular taillights, but it is uniquely a Mercury, even though it also shows a lot of Crown Victoria as well. Alrighty, around the rear of the Grand Marquis has a very nice, elegant luxury car look to it. The taillights really owe themselves to Mercedes-Benz and the Lincoln Town Car, those triangular lights, very common of the mid-2000s. But the Panther vehicles retained a lot of their identity throughout their entire lineage. The doors pretty much remained the same, at least the door line did. This rear C-pillar back here. Now the Town Car carried its own C-pillar, and the Grand Marquis had just a solid piece of sheet metal. The Crown Victoria actually had a window here, and of course the Town Car had a much more rounded and kind of resembling a Bentley. Now instead of chrome, there's a body color piece of plastic that runs down the window trim there, runs down the trunk lid. Nice little beveled edge here with this sharp body line that goes entirely down the length of the entire car. And on the Grand Marquis, we have solid red tail lamps back here, all incandescent lighting, multi-bulbs in here for brake lights, stop light, tail lights, turn indicators, and then you have the smoked lenses here that are non-functional. And then inside the license plate housing, you do have your rear reverse lights. We do have the really nice Grand Marquis logo here in a really nice font. And of course the Mercury badge right here in the center. Nice amounts of chrome along the rear plinth. Just overall a nice execution of the Panther car. Alrighty, as we walk along the profile, on screen are the dimensions. It is a very large car. It is body on frame, front engine, rear wheel drive. So the last of a really classic era of a full-size body on frame, front engine, rear wheel drive family car. A lot of these were sold to fleets, police, FBI, all that kind of stuff. May have seen them on the X-Files. Very hardy, very durable cars. Steering is electrically assisted vehicle speed sensitive variable rate rack and pinion, which replaced the outgoing heavier hydraulically recirculating ball steering system. Steering features 3 turns lock to lock and a 16.4 to 1 overall steering ratio. Wheels are the 17 by 7 inch, 14 spoke painted aluminum shot in 255/60 R17 Goodyear Assurance all season tires. Brakes are 4-wheel disc brakes with 12-inch ventilated rotors up front and 11.6-inch ventilated rotors in the rear. Now as we walk along the front, I'll go over the front end depth as well. It does have a lot of similarities to the Ford Crown Victoria, of which is related. The Lincoln Town Car, while it's on the same platform, has an entirely different look from this era. Alright, now looking up front, even though the 3 Panther cars, the Ford Crown Victoria, the Mercury Grand Marquis, and the Lincoln Town Car all had different styling, the Grand Marquis and the Crown Victoria were the most similar up front. We'll go over some of those. First and foremost, one thing I do like is these really nice A-pillar mounted mirrors here. They're a black plastic, but they have the body color skull caps on them. And of course the mirrors do fold, and they are heated. Nice full frame doors come all the way down the fenders, and we do have the Ultimate Edition badge. That is actually a Mercury badge there. And that chiseled look that we saw in the rear continues all the way down the front into the headlamps and turn indicators. Now as you can see here, complex reflector behind clear acrylic lenses. We do have halogen headlamps and high beams and our turn indicators. And of course this vehicle is also equipped with cornering lamps. By turning the headlights on and the turn signals on, it activates the cornering lamp, and that allows ease of vision on dark corners. Now, similar to the Crown Victoria, we do have a Mercedes-Benz-esque waterfall grille, nice large amounts of chrome, and you have the Mercury badge front and center. The Crown Victoria differed just a little bit, but they were pretty identical in the front. Now this vehicle is equipped with fog lamps, but the left-hand side is burned out and the right-hand side is gone. All right, before we get inside, let's take a look and see what we got for keys. As far as keys are concerned, we do have the typical Ford, Lincoln, Mercury dual-bladed key. It does have the black key head with the 9 dots on the front and back. And of course, being a Mercury, we have the Mercury logo on this key. And it does have remote keyless entry. And the remote transmitter is a very simple Ford unit. You have lock, unlock, the panic button, and our trunk release. In addition, while we do not have smart key access, we do have Ford's keyless entry keypad here. By entering in your 4-digit PIN number, you can lock and unlock the vehicle door without your keys. Or you can also just unlock the car. You can lock the car with the buttons and you can unlock it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look inside. Now inside is true to the Panther car legacy. Very large and roomy. It's a very comfortable car. Very well built. As I said before, this is the medium light stone interior. Taking a look at the door panels. Nice soft touch vinyl. Tons of wood harvested from the plastic forest. There's our optional heated seats right here, low and then high. And our Mercedes-Benz-esque 8-way power driver and passenger seats. The seat pictogram on the driver's door. Chrome door pulls, stereo speakers, power mirror controls, power window controls, window and door lockouts, and our power locks. Vinyl touch here for the door pulls. The red reflector for entry safety. Map pockets. Our trunk release, which is lockable. Taking a look at the driver's side instrument cluster, we do have the auto lamp system, so by placing the switch there, this sensor up here will actually indicate the brightness or darkness of the exterior and switch on the headlamps accordingly, or you can just turn them on manually. You can also pull for your fog lamps. This is our instrument panel brightness and dim. This is our traction control here. More wood harvested from the plastic forest. Emergency brake here, parking brake release here, hood release here, and that little wire hanging down actually belongs to the aftermarket reverse camera. Let's tuck that back up underneath there. And we do have just a brake and accelerator pedal, no clutch pedal obviously, because this car did not come with a manual transmission. And sadly, this car is also not equipped with the adjustable pedals. On the bottom of the seat, we do have lumbar support. This is present on the driver and passenger seat. All right, taking a look at the seats. The seats are very comfortable. They are a 50-50 split folding seat. So it is essentially bucket seats for the driver and passenger with high adjustable head restraints, non-perforated leather interior. But the 2 armrests here, they do fold up to reveal a pseudo bench seat with a lap belt. So effectively this car can seat 6. Alrighty, pan through the interior and show more details, and there's a lot to show in here. As you can see here, nice fluidic hydraulic assisted power steering on a leather wrapped steering wheel. I'm not a big fan of the steering or the airbag cover design on this car, but that's what you got on the end of the run here. But it does have the nice big Mercury logo here in the center, and multifunction controls over here, but they are only for the cruise control. No audio or climate controls on this steering wheel, unfortunately. Over here on the left hand side, we just have our on and off button, and over on the right hand side we have the resume, set, accelerate, and deaccelerate. No cancel or anything like that. We do have our multifunction stalk here that controls turn signals, high beams, flash to pass, and wiper washer. Taking a look at the instrument cluster, now gone is the full set of gauges with the central mounted speedometer and the 2 auxiliary gauges on the left and the right of it that had the fuel level and coolant temperature, battery voltage, and oil pressure. And we also no longer have the option of the availability of the digital instrument cluster. Sadly, all we have now is just the standard 4-gauge display here. And it is in the Mercury light gray with the Mercury specific font and white needles, white lettering. But at night it glows green with orange pointers. 120 mile per hour speedometer, fuel level, coolant temperature, and a 7,000 RPM tach, and assorted warning lights, and the prindle down here. What is nice, this car has the premium instrument cluster, so it does have the digital readout. So we have a digital speedometer here, and then we have our odometer. Now, right now we have 139,796 miles on it. But if we go over to these buttons on the dash, setup, select, info, and reset, we can actually cycle through some menus here. And then we'll put those up on the screen, but it basically shows like economy, distance to empty, that kind of stuff. And then it cycles through all different kinds of troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really nice option to have. All right, panning over the top of the dash, as you can see here, the dash is in really, really nice shape. It's not cracked, split, warped, or anything like that. We do have passenger side air vents, the passenger side airbag with the airbag indicator light there. If it senses an inordinate amount of weight or whatever, it'll automatically deactivate that airbag, as you can see there. We've also got a locking glove box with the owner's manual. Nice amounts of wood trim. We'll harvest it from the plastic forest. And these are our trip computer buttons there. Setup and select, info and reset. And of course, we've also got the AM/FM CD player here. And down below, we have the single zone automatic climate control. And right now we have the AC on because it is 98 degrees outside. Terribly hot and humid. Rear window defroster. Now, this panel here used to house the cup holders, but that's been broken. So I'm not sure if that even pulls out anymore. And this screen here is pretty cool because by placing this vehicle in reverse, it does have an aftermarket backup camera. And by placing it in reverse, it does activate this backup camera. It does have guidance lines. Now they're fixed in place, but pretty neat. Pretty neat to have in this car. Now, as you can see here, no center console or anything like that. Our cup holders are in this little panel here, but they no longer come out. And we do have the adjustable armrest here. Overhead, we do have an automatic dimming rear view mirror. And we have nice large sun visors with illuminated vanity mirrors. And of course, the sun visors do swing out, slide out on extensions. We've also got high adjustable seat belts and overhead assist handles. In addition, we've also got our overhead reading lights up here. All right, now let's take a look at the rear seat. Opening up the rear doors is a very easy affair. They open up nice and wide and reveal a generous amount of rear seat leg and headroom. It is a very cavernous car, so that all translates very nicely to the front and the rear seats. Taking a look at the rear door panels. As you can see here, nice soft touch material, additional wood trim from the plastic forest, chrome door pulls, power window switches. No ashtrays here, but that's where they used to be. Door pulls and then some carpeting. Now, I joke about the wood, but actually the texture and the print looks like a really nice bird's eye maple. It actually has a really nice look to it. Definitely upgrades the interior look. Now let's take a look at the rear seat. Now the rear seat is fixed in place. It doesn't even have a pass-through. But the rear seat does seat 3 across. Just a nice slab-sided bench seat. Has no lateral support at all. 3-point belts for all passengers. You also got the child seat tethers back there. You do also have adjustable reading lights back here, and you can actually pivot them, which is really nice. And then you do have a fold-down center armrest, and it does have integral cup holders. In addition, we also have seat back mat pockets in the backs of all the seats, and all seats have overhead assist handles with little coat hooks. Alright, now there are 3 ways to open the trunk. The most convenient way is right here in the driver's side door panel. This little locking button here, you press that and it'll open up the trunk. You can also use the key to lock it so no one can open it from the outside. The second way is the more old school way, and that is by just sticking the key in the keyhole here on the right side of the car and turning the key to the right. That'll unlatch the trunk. But the most convenient way also is just by pressing and holding that blue button on the key fob. As you can see, pops open, and you just lift it the rest of the way. And what we have is a cavernous trunk. Very unique to the Panther cars is just this massive luggage space. Very deep, and it is dirty. I know that this dealership just took this vehicle on trade, so I'm reviewing it really quick. But anyway, nice, massively deep, well over 20 cubic feet if I know correctly, of storage space back here. You do have a compact spare tire that's way out of the way up here, and the jack and tools are all back there. But as you can see, you still have a really nice parcel shelf up here. And then in the event of a rear collision or whatever, you have the fuel shut off and air suspension shut off back here. But just an overall nice trunk. You do have the requisite pull to escape in case you get locked in your trunk. To close the trunk is very easy. You have to do it with your hands, but you just close it just like this. All right, and now we have it. The end of an era. The 2010 Mercury Grand Marquis. We hope you found the review informative, and if you did, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews and our Instagram channel at BrentsOJ1. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.